All right, Shalom, Shalom, Israel, Shalom to the Torah tribes of Yasha giving the course. All honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, Mahashiach, Malak YAHAWASHI. That's all praises, honor, and glorification unto the Most High God YAHWAH in the name of His only begotten Son YAHWASHI. All right, this is Brother Yasha Allah. I'm gonna get straight into this. Try to make this quick as possible through the Spirit. Just touching on who is the ram with two horns in the book of Daniel, chapter 8. All right. If you don't know what I'm referring to, or if you don't know what this ram is or what it symbolizes, Lord willing, you understand after this video, right? Through the Spirit power, YAHAWAH, YAHWASHI. All right, so I'm just touching on the ram. I'm gonna touch a little bit, Lord willing, on the goat, right? Because the goat is also significant to understanding who the ram is. But I'm just touch on it real quick, so you can watch this video to just if you forget or you may not know, this is just a quick video, Lord willing, right, of who the ram is, right, Lord willing. So let's go to this. Daniel chapter 8, verse 1. In the third year of the reign of King Belshazzar is basically, as scholars will say, the grandson of Nebuchadnezzar II, right? A vision appeared unto me, even unto me, Daniel, that after that which appeared unto me at the first. And I saw in a vision, and it came to pass when I saw that I was in Shushan in the palace, which is in the province of Elam, and I saw a vision, and I was by the river of Ulai. Then I lifted up mine eyes and saw, and behold, there stood before the ram the river a ram which had two horns. So Daniel is looking, and he's in a vision, right? He's looking in a vision, and he sees a ram which had two horns, right? And the two horns were high, but one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last. So this ram, even though it's little, it's symbolic for something, right? Now remember, beasts, right? Because the ram is a beast. Beasts are referred to as men, right? Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 49, verse 20, classic. It says, man that is in honor and understandeth not is like the beast that perish. So if you're in honor, but you don't understand, right, you don't have the wisdom with you, the Lord compares you to a beast that perish, right? Let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 15, right? 1 Corinthians 15 and verse, let's start at verse, right? 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 32. After the manner of men, I have fought. It's like, after the manner of men, I have fought with beasts at Ephesus. So Paul himself, he said that he fought with beasts at Ephesus. Did he actually fight with beasts? Was he, a gladiator? Was he fighting a lion and a tiger at the same time? No, he was fighting with men who were acting like beasts, basically, right? Who are beast-like, What advantage me if the dead rise not? Let us eat and drink, for tomorrow we die. All right, let's go to Ecclesiastes 3. All right, Ecclesiastes 3 and verse 18, right? I said in mine heart concerning the state of the sons of men, that God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts. So men are referred to as beasts, just like how they're referred to as trees in the scriptures, grass, flowers, a lot of sheep, goats. They're also referred to as beasts. So this ram that Daniel was seeing is symbolic for something, and we're going to get into it, right? Let's just read this verse. Daniel chapter 8 and verse 3. Actually, I'm going to just go ahead and say it. This ram with two horns is symbolic for the Persian and Median Empire, right? The Medo-Persian Empire, the Achaemenid Empire, right? It says, this is how you know, and the two horns were high, meaning they were exalted, they were powerful, right? These two horns, remember the two horns, a horn of an animal is the strength, right? So these two horns is symbolic for the two parts of the empire, all right? The two parts of this kingdom, which is the Persians and the Medians, right? The Persians and the Medians. These people came together under Cyrus II, right? Cyrus II conquered the Median Empire, right? Let's go to this real quick, right? Cyrus the Great, this man, right? Cyrus II of Persia, commonly known as Cyrus the Great. He was the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, the first Persian Empire. So he came and literally conquered the Median Empire, which was right next to the Persian Empire, okay? And they became a joint empire. They became a joint empire, okay? So that's why it says it has two horns. It said the two horns were high, but the one was higher than the other. Because the Persians, they're above the Medians, because literally the Persians conquered the Medians. Even though they became a joint empire, they worked together. That's why the scholars say it's called the Medial Empire, the Medial Persian Empire, right? The Medial Persian Empire. See that? So let me just read this real quick. By 550 BC, Cyrus had united the Medes and the Persians into an unbeatable riding force. You see that? An unbeatable riding force. So that was in 550 BC when King Cyrus united the Medes and the Persians. That they became the Medial Persian Empire. All right. But ultimately, the Persians were more stronger than the Medians, because the Persians conquered the Median Empire, right? But one was higher than the other, and the higher came up last, right? Verse 4, I saw the ram pushing westward and northward and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. It's not talking about a literal beast. Remember, these beasts are men, kingdoms, nations, right? How you know that? Let's go to Daniel chapter 7. All right, let's go to Daniel chapter 7 and verse 17. These great beasts, when you read this is Daniel's dream, he dreamt the four beasts coming out of the sea, right? In verse 2, right? Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon this great sea, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse from one another. These beasts are symbolic for what? Let's go to verse 17. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall rise up out of the earth. So these are four kings. They're not, literal beasts. You know what I'm saying? That's not what they're symbolic for. They're symbolic for kingdoms. All right. So when we go back to this, the same aspect, right? Daniel 8 and 4. I saw the ram pushing westward, northward, and southward, so that no beast might stand before him. Meaning, no empire could stand before the Persians. No empire could stand before the Persian Empire. Okay. They were literally the world power at this time, right? Neither was there any that could deliver out of his hand. No, not Israel, right? We were conquered, right? Egypt was conquered by Cambyses I, right? I believe his name was Cambyses I, right? Who was the son of King Cyrus II. He conquered the Egyptian Empire. They conquered the Lydian Empire. King Cyrus did. King Cyrus conquered the Babylonian Empire. You know what I'm saying? All these world powers were taken down by the Persian Empire. All right, it says, but he did according to his will and became great. I want to just pull up this GIF, right? A GIF, as they say. I just want to pull this up, right? It's a GIF, right? So this is the ram pushing westward, northward, and southward, meaning everywhere, right? Watch this, right? If this is working. You see that? So it's expanding. It started over here, but it's expanding, right? Under King Cyrus. He reached all the way unto Lydia and Sardis, right? Came to Jerusalem. All right, so this is the ram pushing westward, northward, and southward. See that? A very, very vast empire. In fact, when you read Esther chapter 1, verse 1, right, it said that the empire reached from India all the way to Ethiopia, 127 provinces. A province is like a state, it's similar to a state. So literally the Persian Empire had like 127 states. America has 50, but the Persian Empire had 127. And in fact, according to the scholars, right, and even secular historians, they'll tell you that the Persian Empire was one of the biggest and vastest empires. You know what I'm saying? And strongest. All right, so that is the ram with two horns. It's talking about the Medial Persian Empire, the Achaemenid Empire, right? If you want to get, scholarly, right? This empire. It says also called the first Persian Empire, was an ancient Iranian empire that was based in Western Asia and founded by Cyrus the Great. It reached its its greatest extent unto Xerxes I, who conquered most of the northern and central ancient Greece, including the city of Athens in 480 BC. Okay? See, look at this. By 500 BC, the empire reached 2 million, right? 2 million square miles. Okay? And it dissolved. It fell in 330 BC at the battle, basically the Battle of Gaugamela by under Alexander the Great. And that's the he-goat. All right, the he-goat. But let's go down here in Daniel chapter 8, right? This is Daniel 8 and verse 20, right? The ram which thou sawest having 2 horns are the kings of Media and Persia. You see that? The kings of Media and Persia. All right? And the rough goat is the king of Grecia, and the great horn is between his eyes is the first king. Talking about Alexander the Great. All right? Wait, hold on.